All right, it says for the following points, and it lists them. It says reflect the points over the x-axis, the y-axis, and the origin. So as a recap, if you reflect something over the x-axis, you're switching the sign of your y value. If it's over the y-axis, you're switching the sign of your x value. And if it's over the origin, you're switching over the x and you're switching over the y. Now we just have to be a little careful here because with that notation, it doesn't mean it goes from positive to negative. It means you are adding a negative. So if it's already negative and you add a negative, well then that makes it a positive. So let's look at point A. -3, -7. So if I wanted to reflect it over the x-axis, that means that I need to add a negative to the y. So it becomes -3, and if I add a negative to the y, it becomes +7. Over the y-axis, you're going to add a negative to the x value. So if I add a negative to a -3, it becomes positive. And then if it's the origin, you add a negative to both. So it's +3 and +7. Let's look at point D. If I wanted to do the x-axis, so you're going to add a negative to the y. So it becomes 0, -8. If I wanted to reflect it over the y-axis, I'm going to add a negative to the x. Well, negative times 0 is still 0. And then the origin, you add a negative to the x, and you add a negative to the y. So on this next problem, this is number 2. It says a leaf falls 18 feet from a branch of at a rate of 5 feet every 2 seconds. Determine whether each statement about the leaf is true. Select true or false for each statement. So the initial height of the leaf is 18 feet. That is true. It says it falls at a rate of 5 feet every 2 seconds. So it's going to go down 5 feet every time 2 seconds elapses. So if we're thinking about the slope, that's going to be 5 halves, 5 feet every 2 seconds. So if it says that if the leaf falls at a rate at 2/5 foot every 1 second, that is not true. Since it's 5 feet every 2 seconds, that would be 2.5 feet every 1 second. The leaf is 3 feet above the ground after 6 seconds. So we can kind of mentally think about that. So after 2 seconds, it's now at 13. After 2 seconds, it's now at 8. And after 2 seconds, it's now at 3. So it's 3 feet above the ground after 6 seconds. So that's true. And the next one, it says select all the equations that can be represented by a straight line on the coordinate plane. So it needs to be a line. Now what that means is y isn't in the denominator, it's in the numerator. X is in the numerator. The exponent of your x is 1. So that first one, because it says 1 over x, it's not a line. The second one is a line. The third one, because it says y squared, that's not a line. The next one is a line. The next one after that's a line. The very last one, if you distribute that x, you're going to get 3x minus x squared, which makes it not a line. So the ones that are a line are the second one, the fourth one, and the fifth one.